Have you ever had that feeling where something amazing happens, but something feels wrong about it? Like when you get exactly what you wanted, but then feel scared instead of happy? That's what happened to me. My name is Jack, and I'm about to tell you about the strangest day of my life. A day that started with good luck, but ended with something I still can't explain. It was the middle of winter in Baltimore, and I was shivering as I tried to find a parking spot near my apartment building. I love my neighborhood with all its quaint stores and buildings, but parking is a nightmare. On nice days, I don't mind walking a few blocks, but this wasn't a nice day. Everything was covered in slushy snow, and it was so cold my face hurt. After driving around for what felt like forever, I finally found a spot 3 whole blocks from my building. Ugh. I left my car running while I got ready to face the cold. I pulled my coat tight, put on my winter hat and gloves, took a deep breath, and turned off the car. As soon as I stepped outside, I almost slipped on the ice. This was going to be a long, miserable walk home. I hate winter evenings. It gets dark so early, and everything feels sad and gloomy. But as I carefully made my way down the sidewalk, I thought about something that made me smile. My visit to the psychic a few days ago. My friend Amanda is super into all that stuff. Astrology, fortune-telling, and things like that. I never really believed in it, but Amanda kept bugging me to see this psychic with her. "Come on, Jack. It'll be fun," she had said about 100 times. "Fine," I finally told her, but only to prove that it's all made up. Amanda was so excited that she found a psychic she'd never been to before, so I couldn't say it was all a trick. When we got to the psychic's place in the Hampton neighborhood, it was exactly what I expected. The room smelled strongly of incense, and there were colorful tapestries hanging on the walls. Yellow and red lights made everything look mysterious. The psychic was sitting at a table with a maroon tablecloth. She looked about 60 years old and wore a red bandana on her head. Her skin was blotchy, and she had this weird smile that made me uncomfortable. Amanda paid her with cash, and we sat down in metal chairs. "My name is Dolores. Why don't I start with you, Amanda?" the psychic said, like this was just a normal day at work. "Oh my God, you know my name?" Amanda gasped. "Of course I do." "And you're Jack," she said, looking right at me. "This reading is going to be amazing, Jack," Amanda said with a huge grin. "You work in the service industry," Dolores told Amanda. "That's right," Amanda practically shouted. "I'm a waitress." I was starting to wonder if Amanda was playing a trick on me. If not, this was actually pretty interesting. After Amanda's turn, Dolores turned to me. "You, dear, will be coming into lots of money in a few days." I laughed. "I wish. I'm just an administrative assistant. If lots means my paycheck, that money is already gone to pay my bills." "No, that is not what I mean. You'll see." "You'll see," Dolores said with a confident look. Now, as I was walking that last block to my apartment, I laughed to myself about Dolores's prediction. She had gotten some things right about my past, but a big pile of money? No way. That's when I saw a skinny tabby cat sitting on the steps of my building, meowing loudly. When it saw me, it meowed even more, like it was begging for help. I couldn't leave the poor thing out in the cold. "Come on," I said, opening the door. The cat hurried inside. I stopped to check my mailbox in the lobby. The cat was still meowing at my feet as I looked through my mail. There was a letter from a law firm, which made my stomach drop. Was I being sued? Did I have to go to court? I groaned as I opened the inside door to my building. The cat darted ahead of me and ran up the stairs like it knew where my apartment was. "Slow down, buddy," I called, trying to get in front of it. "I know you're hungry and cold, but I need to show you the way." It was hard to unlock my door on the third floor while holding my gloves and keys with frozen fingers, especially with the cat rubbing against my legs and purring. Once we were inside, I put my coat and things in the front closet and headed to the kitchen with the cat following close behind. "Okay, baby, let's get you something to eat," I said in a soft voice. I found a can of tuna in my cupboard, opened it and put it on the floor. While the cat ate, I turned my attention to the letter from the law firm. I took a deep breath and opened it. As I read, my eyes got bigger and bigger. "Oh my God," I shouted. "I just got a cashier's check for $20,000. I can't believe it. Amanda's gonna flip when she finds out Dolores was right." "Of course Dolores was right," a voice said from behind me. I screamed and spun around. Dolores was standing in my kitchen, wearing the same red bandana and giving me that same creepy smile. I was totally confused. "How the hell did you get in here?" I gasped. "Why, you let me in, silly. I'm the cat." I know. People expect us to transform into black cats, but that is so old-fashioned. I thought a tabby would be more interesting." But, how is that possible and why are you here?" I stammered. "It is possible because I can do these things, and I am here for that money. I can't tell you how happy I was when I first saw you at my shop and saw your future. I thought, I can get the money he is going to receive in a few days. And here I am. The weather made it easy for me to trick you into letting me in, but if it had been summer, I could have entered as a fly or maybe even a cockroach. But what matters is that I can now complete the transfer of that money to me." Dolores let out a laugh that made my skin crawl. "Now, let me explain to you how this will go," she continued while I stood there in shock. "Tomorrow morning you will call out from work. Then you will go to the bank and cash that check. I want all $100 bills, thank you. And then you will come back here, place the money on this table, write a suicide note saying you gave the money to strangers, and then cut your wrists while sitting in your bathtub full of water." "What? What makes you think I will do all that?" I asked angrily. "Because you will. Haven't you figured it out? Do you think someone who can turn herself into a cat and back cannot do more? Consider yourself lucky. Most people don't know how they are going to die before it happens. I am giving you that gift. Well, sort of. You see, you will forget that I'm even here in just a few moments. I will turn back into the cat, and you will forget this conversation ever happened. Then tomorrow you will do everything I just said. The spell has been cast. If you have all these powers, why are you bothering me? Isn't there an easier way for you to get money? Doing it this way is much more fun, and I would let you live, but the spell requires you to die," Dolores said with that sickly smile. "You're crazy," I blurted out. "Maybe I am, dear. Maybe I am." Then something strange happened. I blinked, and Dolores was gone. The tabby cat was sitting on the floor, licking its paws after finishing the tuna. I looked back at the letter in my hand, feeling confused. Had I been daydreaming? "I will call in sick and go to the bank tomorrow morning. I will also go buy some razor blades from the drugstore," I said out loud, not even sure why I was saying it. That night, I had trouble sleeping. I kept having weird dreams about cats and money and bathtubs. When I woke up the next morning, the tabby was sitting on my windowsill watching me. I got dressed, grabbed the check, and headed for the door. But as I reached for the doorknob, something strange happened. I saw my reflection in the mirror by the door, but I didn't look like myself. My eyes seemed empty, like I wasn't really there. And then, like a flash of lightning, I remembered. The cat. Dolores. The spell. No, I whispered, fighting against the foggy feeling in my head. This isn't right. The cat hissed from the windowsill, its eyes suddenly glowing an unnatural green. I don't know where I found the strength, but I fought against whatever was trying to control me. Instead of heading to the bank, I grabbed my phone and called Amanda. "Amanda, you need to come over right now," I said, my voice shaking, "and bring salt. Lots of salt." "Salt? Jack, what are you talking about?" she asked, sounding concerned. "Just do it. And hurry." While I waited for Amanda, I kept my eyes on the cat, who was now pacing anxiously on the windowsill. "I remember," I told it, "and I'm not doing what you want." The cat's eyes narrowed, and suddenly it jumped off the sill, landing on the floor with a strange shimmer in the air around it. Before my eyes, it began to transform, stretching and growing until Dolores stood in my living room again. "That's not possible," she hissed. "The spell should have worked." "Well, it didn't," I said, trying to sound braver than I felt. "And you're not getting my money." "We'll see about that," Dolores growled, stepping toward me. Just then, there was a knock at the door. "Jack? It's me," Amanda called. Dolores looked panicked and began to change back into a cat, but I was faster. I lunged forward and grabbed her arm while she was still half human, half cat. "In here, Amanda," I yelled. "Use the spare key under the mat." Seconds later, Amanda burst in with a large container of salt. Her eyes widened at the sight of Dolores, frozen in mid-transformation. "Oh my God," she whispered. "She's a witch," I finished. "Your psychic is a witch, and she wants my money and for me to kill myself." Amanda didn't hesitate. She opened the salt container and threw it at Dolores. The salt hit her, and she let out a terrible scream. Her body seemed to flicker like a bad television signal, and then she was just the tabby cat again, hissing and spitting. "The window!" I shouted. "Open the window." Amanda ran to the window and pushed it open. The cat darted toward it, leaped onto the sill, and disappeared into the morning light. We both stood there, breathing hard, staring at the empty windowsill. "What just happened?" Amanda finally asked. I told her everything. About the money, about Dolores turning into a cat, about the spell that was supposed to make me kill myself. "I can't believe it," Amanda said when I finished. "I'm so sorry, Jack. I never would have taken you there if I'd known." "It's not your fault," I assured her. "But I think we need to be more careful about who we trust from now on." Later that day, I went to the bank and deposited the check into my account. It turned out, a distant relative had left me the money in their will. I used some of it to pay off my debts, saved most of it, and donated a bit to the local animal shelter. I still live in the same apartment, but I've put salt on all my windowsills and doorways. And I never, ever let stray cats inside anymore, no matter how cold it is outside. Sometimes, on stormy nights, I think I see a tabby cat sitting across the street, staring up at my window. But maybe that's just my imagination. Or maybe, just maybe, Dolores is not done with me yet.